Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, and Beautified by Romina. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Hi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 197? Episode 197 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. And it's a kind of gray day outside. It's a little bit gray. Not that gray?
It's a nice day. It's
a
a nice,
chilly.
crisp fall day.
It's a little chilly, Regine. It is crisp. It's not... It's fine. And I think the rest of the weekend's not that sunny, so this might be the nicest day we're getting. Oh yeah, rest of the week, yeah. So we'll see. But, hi everybody. I am your host. The one, the only... Scott Dion Brown. Hi, welcome to the show, and I'm joined by just the greatest co-host in all of the galaxy people, the one, the only...
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. I like today's weather. It's crisp, it's fall, it's cold.
You can wear a nice
I mean, I'm in a skirt, so I walked out, I'm like, oh, it's cold.
But I mean, it's the type of weather that you could wear a nice scarf,
a flannel,
nice jacket.
Ooh, what was that?
Big Red Gaming just donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Big Red Gaming. Oh, good morning, Scott. Haven't seen you in a long time, man. How have you been? Hey, Big Red, welcome back. Yeah, I haven't seen Big Red Gaming in a while, but he's a streamer. Mm-hmm. What are you streaming these days? I know he was doing a lot of Minecraft before. I think he was doing a racing game as well. Anyways, Big Red Gaming, all the best to you. Thank you so much for the Super Chat. Really appreciate it. And welcome to the show.
Yay.
Welcome to the show. Hello, hello. Mm-hmm. Maria Brown, good morning. Hi, welcome. Hi, Mom.
Good morning.
Regine, the TCS Toronto Waterfront Marathon is happening this weekend. Mm-hmm. Good luck to all of our runners. You know how I know that the marathon's happening, Regine?
How do you know, Scott?
I got stuck in the road closures on the way here. It's fine. Okay, I should have remembered. But, because it runs basically along the whole bottom half of the city. So the entire part is cut off. So I had to, luckily I was able to find a way out. But I was very scared that we weren't going to start.
I actually thought about it this morning because I saw it on the news. I'm like, I wonder how close that is to Scott's place. Oops.
Close enough.
Close enough that you're...
Well, you just imagine the city and then draw a line across it and then be like, everybody on this side of the line, good luck going to this side. So anyway, we figured it out.
Oh, man.
But here we are. Should we bring in our guest?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've definitely had an eventful week. But yes, let's bring on our guest and talk about it.
We'll talk about everything. We'll get there. But ladies and gentlemen... Big Red Gaming says, I'm fixing to get back into Forza Horizon 4, man. Nice. Yeah, that's a cool game. It's a driving game, racing game.
Cool.
You know. Our guest today, everybody, is, he's been on the show once before, although you weren't here, I think.
No, he's been on the show twice before.
You've been on the show twice? Oh.
Yeah.
6 months ago was my last one.
But this is my first time meeting him in person.
Okay, wait.
Because the first time he went to our he's been on all platforms. He's been on in the the first studio. Didn't meet him then.
Yeah.
He was on our virtual studio.
Okay, I forgot the virtual one.
And now he is in person.
Okay, all right. So you've done this many times then. Okay. I remember our first interview when it was just you and me talking face to face. You know what? It's because the whole...
He has a really bad memory, guys. I'm so sorry.
The pandemic is a blur, Regine. It's like it never even happened.
I mean, you forgot the sit down turns 4 next month, so I mean...
The sit down turns 4 next month, everybody. Just found out.
So, to all of our viewers who are watching or listening, whatever you're doing, what should we do for the 4-year mark?
Oh, yeah. Give us your suggestions.
Let us know.
That's awesome. Okay, our guest today, everybody. He's been on the show twice before. He's been on in all iterations, actually. He was on in the original studio, the virtual version. And now he's here in what I think is our best setup, actually. I like it a lot.
We'll ask him.
We'll ask him, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. He is a singer-songwriter. He's just released a brand new live album, and he's also recently, just today, I believe, come out with the remasters.
Yeah.
He'll explain everything. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm sit-down welcome to Chad Beloin. What's up?
How you doing today?
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to officially meet you.
First off, congratulations. I know you just got engaged recently.
I did.
Congrats.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so excited.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I didn't know that. How did you know that?
It's on his Instagram.
I didn't see that. Anyways, congratulations.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. So, how have you been doing?
Man, I've been doing good. I've been working a lot on the new record, the one that I was still working on 6 months ago. But I've made a lot of progress on it. We're getting very close to release day, and been also working on planning another show for the year. I kind of want to close everything out.
Nice.
I'm thinking about doing like an acoustic kind of situation. So I'm sitting down, finally getting back in tune with my guitar, right? Kind of getting back in that mode of playing it again, right? Because I got the strings.
I was going to ask you.
I got the strings. I literally ordered them right after we were done that show. They came in like 2 days after.
Sweet.
And so yeah, I've been getting back into that. And so now it's just kind of finding out which ones I think are going to be the most fun to do live and without literally anything, no effects, no nothing like that. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Very cool.
I was going to say, last time you were here, you were about to go live in person again for the first time.
Yes.
You've had a very busy 6 months. How has it been since we've seen you?
It's been a roller coaster. So I got engaged, right? So that was like a super duper high point. And then I had 2 shows booked, right? That I was supposed to go do. The first was like at the end of July. I tested positive for COVID, had to go into quarantine.
Oh no.
Oh
Yeah. So I ended up spending about a week in the quarantine isolation center here in the city. And I had to go to an isolation center.
Oh, wow.
So some of the symptoms I had were like extremely contagious. So I actually had to go to an isolation center for a week, which isolation center sounds bad. It was a hotel. It was a hotel.
Yeah, but you made it sound worse than it was.
It definitely sounds worse, but it's a hotel. It is covered by the city and all that. They're basically like, here, don't go spreading your sickies. Stay in your room. But it was an interesting concept, right? Because you're in your room that entire stay, and I had to stay extra because of some of the symptoms I was having. I wasn't able to leave on time.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I'm curious, what kind of symptoms? Yeah, what kind of symptoms did you have?
I was vomiting like crazy, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I couldn't eat at all, right? If I ate, it came out. Honestly, even if I didn't eat, it came out. So it was one of those things where my daily routine became wake up, shower. No, it was wake up, steam myself in the shower, get sick, go lay down, and just repeat, right? And it was probably the worst, I'd say, good week of my life, right? And typically, right, you have COVID, you isolate, that's like 4-5 days. I was in there for about 7, which isn't bad in comparison, but when we're talking doing that same routine for 7 days in a row, it was tough, right? And like the symptoms don't stop. It's just the symptoms that are keeping you there stop, right? So even now to this day, like some of the stuff are still affecting me. So like my memory loss has gotten worse. So sometimes I'm like, perfect, I'm on the mark, and I usually have like a decent memory. That's kind of hit me in and out
hit you really hard.
A little bit. Like there'll be times where I'm in the middle of doing an action and I kind of just sit there stunned for a hot minute and I forget what the heck I'm doing. Like even yesterday I was opening up like my web browser and I don't remember what the heck I was doing, but I literally middle of the action I'm like, why is this open? What am I doing?
All right, well, Chad, you're on the sit down.
But no, so that was tough. Light sensitivity was the worst one though. And that hit me like immediately after. I remember getting into the cab and I had to wear like sunglasses. I had to keep my the blinds closed when I got home. I couldn't take light, so it was tough. It's better.
As we have all the
It's
lights
better.
on,
I know.
It's like, oh wait.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely better. But so it was annoying, right? Because I was super excited to be back on stage for the first time in literally 2 years, and that week of, because I'm very careful, right? Because for me, I always go out into the audience, right? I'm very close with people, and my biggest fear was me passing it on to somebody else, right? I didn't want to show up to the show and have it. So anytime I go out, and do something, like even with this, right? I tested negative. Yay me. Yay. But I always test myself, right? So I started testing for the first show like a week prior. So that was on the Monday. The show was on the Friday. And I tested positive like immediately that night. And I was like, dang.
Did you have any symptoms before you tested positive, or was it?
Sort of. So everything hit me in one day.
Oh no.
Everything. And that's kind of what really spurred to me checking early, because I was going to start the following day. But basically what had happened is I was recording. I did all my backtracks for like the background vocals and everything, because I wanted it to sound similar to that day. So usually I'll go in, I'll do my background vocals for every show unique. So did my background vocals, finished that up. I was feeling good. I'm like, all right, time to play some Modern Warfare. Jumped on the Xbox, and my head started to hurt. So I was like, all right, fine, that's cool. I'll watch some Netflix or whatever. And I had some dinner. And right after dinner, my throat started to hurt. I was like, okay, that's weird. I mean, could be anything, right? Lay down in bed, watch some more TV. Body started to kill me.
So how did you know, or who told you that you had to be in an isolation center?
So I did some research first and foremost, right? Because it's myself, my fiance, and then her mom and her brother, right? So we're all in very close quarters. So my biggest concern is protecting all of them, right? If it was just her and I'd either kick myself to the living room, or more realistically, I'd be like, all right, babe, couch is yours. Bedroom's my domain for the next week. But unfortunately, that wasn't like a variable that I had. So the first thing I looked into was, how do you protect yourself in a household with multiple people, right? Where that's like that safe isolation just wasn't an option. And so I definitely took some of the steps, but the more I looked into it and the more I thought about everything, I'm like, it wasn't feasible to not spread it. And sure as heck, because so that night I slept on the floor, right? Wow. Because we don't have like a sofa. We have like a love seat recliner with like the thing in the middle. So you can't sleep on that, right? And I'm not going to boot her out to the living room, and I'm not going to go to the living room because, again, that's common area for everybody, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll sleep on the floor, didn't touch anything. I wore a mask when I slept, everything. She still caught it like 3 or 4 days later as well from me, right? So yeah, I did my research to kind of prepare for everything, and I was like, out of curiosity, I wonder if they have like an isolation center. And yeah, sure as heck, one of the first things was through Toronto Public Health. It was like isolation center, see if you meet the criteria. And I made a phone call. I'm like, hey, like this is what I'm going through. These are my symptoms.
They're like,
this is my living
here.
Pretty much. And they're like, oh yeah, you definitely meet the criteria. When can you be packed and ready? And I'm like, I've been packed and ready. And they're like, all right, cab's coming for you right away. And then everything was very structured, right? So the second you got to the center, specific door you got to go through, the security guard opens the door. You don't touch nothing. You listen to everything the guard says. So he'll direct you to like to the elevator, and then he'll hit the button. He'll be like, stay here, don't come out until it gets to the floor. I'll let you out. And then same thing, walks you right to your room, goes in, you lock the door. He's like, don't come out until you're ready to leave.
I thought we had it bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we both got it at Regine's wedding, actually.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But my symptoms, like, I had a rough first couple days. I had like one day particularly, my whole body was sore, sore throat. The body aches were the worst, but then after that, I kind of was. It just sort of petered off as more like cold symptoms type thing.
Yeah.
It was gone in maybe 5 days at the most.
So you didn't get the fever?
I might have gotten a fever, except I didn't take my temperature, so I don't know if I got a fever. But I did feel very cold sometimes. Like I noticed, like if I got under a blanket, within a few minutes I would be boiling, and then I would take the blanket off, and I was so hot. Or no, yeah, super cold. Yeah. So I was like finding this constant. So I'm sure my temperature was probably all over the place. But again, it wasn't
worse than you for sure.
Yeah.
I had COVID brain for the longest time. And then 2 weeks after being better, I was on a flight to Texas to compete in a pageant. So doing a pageant with COVID brain for interview where it's like 40%. And I'm like, this is not my time.
I don't know if I got COVID brain or...
I had the worst case of COVID brain.
The thing is, I've always forgotten things. So I don't know if it's worse or it's just...
No, I had the worst case of COVID brain. My taste buds were off.
Wait, you lost taste?
I didn't lose it. It was just altered.
Oh.
Like I think I've mentioned it before, where if I were to drink coffee, it would just be bitter, and I love coffee, and it was disgusting.
That sucks.
If I ate a salad, I didn't taste the actual lettuce or the dressing. It was just like, or whatever was in it. It was just fresh. Like that's the only way I could describe it. Spicy food was just like, whatever way you would describe a flavor is how I would taste it.
Was so you didn't get any taste symptoms?
No, everything smelled the same. Everything tasted the same.
You just couldn't keep anything down.
No.
Like my brother-in-law, he also had the similar thing that I had, where he was like, I thought something was wrong with the Keurig, and it was just no, it was his taste buds were wrong.
Interesting. It's so weird how everybody was affected differently. You're the first person I've met who was like vomiting and stuff though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yay me.
But so
besides that,
so you were able to recover enough that you're able to perform again. And
the second show.
So and obviously the second show happened, hence the live record, and I was.
So did you get to go to Backstreet Boys? Did you get it at Backstreet Boys?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I did not get it at Backstreet Boys.
Because I remember we talked about Backstreet Boys because I specifically wanted to skip my wedding for the Backstreet Boys.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the wedding, you should have skipped it, man. That Backstreet show was pretty dope. No offense, but like, no, it was great. Thankfully, no, I didn't catch it from there. I got it out in public, like, which is so dumb. I wear masks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like right now I'm not wearing one coming in. I think I've laxed myself a little bit, but like if I'm anywhere where like there's a bunch of people.
Oh, I wear it on the
masked.
subway, 100%.
Oh, same. You have to.
Oh,
too many
gross,
people, and they don't. I don't know. They say they clean it. No offense to anybody if you work on the TTC, but do you?
I've seen it on TikToks to know they do not.
Well, and plus, all it takes. I mean, for me, I feel like it's kind of like gambling in the sense that you're basically just playing the numbers, right? Like, because it really, like, it just takes one person. You run into the wrong person who happens to have it.
I mean, we've all been immunized at this point.
Yeah, and so I'm like you. If it's a larger crowd, I'm like, okay, I better mask up here. Although I have been noticing now, I'm wearing it less and less. Just
whoa.
I don't know. I've just started to.
You?
But again, I don't.
He's
I don't
living
know.
dangerously now. That's what it is.
Oh my god.
Well, like I even noticed, like for example, I was always in the habit of coming out of my building. I always just put it on. And then I wear it all the way to the car. But now I'm like, there's almost never anybody in the hall. So I just don't.
Ooh,
rebel. But if it's a large crowd, if we go out in public and there's a lot of people around, or we go into a mall or something, I'm like, okay, all right, no, I'll mask it up.
Anyway, sorry.
See, so that was actually an interesting thing too when we're talking about like the large crowds, right? Because again, going back to the show component, I always, right, there's always that point where I go into the crowd, right? And one of the things I thought of was I was like, how do I like make sure I don't catch it?
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of broke my own rule. So my one rule was I would do fist dabs, right? I wouldn't shake no hands, and I wouldn't like
crowd.
And I screwed up.
Crowd surfer.
And I didn't exactly dive in, but like and this is actually in the, because I released the footage from the show to YouTube as well. So like the whole thing is up there alongside with the live album. And there's a part there when I'm doing Drag Me Down. I'm doing like that last power bridge, and there's this dude, he was filming, and I'm like, all right, like I'll get into this. I want to be in the video, let's do this. And I got like right up there, and thankfully again didn't get it, but I was like, my one rule was to not do that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a fearful thing, but it felt good to be back out, especially like in those moments, because I miss those moments, right? Like I've done shows where they give me a wired mic, and I just kind of give them the look of why would you chain me down like this? Like I need to be out there with the people. I don't need to be up here with all the spotlights. Let me be with them.
Wannabe. Give him the headset.
I learned from the best. Well, no, not the headset. I can't do the dance moves to pull off or to earn the headset. but I like that freedom of motion. You know what I mean? Because I don't dance, which. Also, fun fact, the show I did was supposed to have like choreography and everything else. It's just
the universe being like, you're not a dancer, don't do it.
No, it was they kept cutting down the set list. So it started at a 30-minute show, but I guess they booked a lot of people. And what was a 30-minute show, they initially offered me 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we'll give you 10 minutes, and I'm like, oh, no, thank you. I was like, and then I changed my mind. I was like, all right, we'll do 10 minutes. That's fine. And like, we'll give you 15. I'm like, cool, 15 works. So
you gave them 15 minutes.
Okay, yeah, pretty much, right? So I got lucky in that sense because the July one was a 15-minute set list, so I just kind of retooled everything I had for that. The only thing that was different between the two shows is this one had a visual aspect. So I had like the vid wall going, I did all the animation for it, and it looked sick as heck.
Nice.
Whereas the other one would have still been cool. It was a fundraiser for was it North York General Hospital, I believe? No, Toronto Western Hospital.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, but it was great, man. It felt good to be back out there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. And it was an outdoor performance, right?
Yeah. It was Nathan Phillips Square.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Big spot. So that's, I mean, the things that I've heard, the things that we know now COVID wise is that it's pretty hard to transmit it outdoors.
Outside,
so I think if there was one spot where you had to slightly break your rule and interact with some people, an outdoor
Outside is
performance is
fine.
probably the best place to do it.
That's true, and I did it on the outer ring, right? Because that's the main thing too. Is like I'll do like a lap around the audience, and I went around the outer ring. He was like way off to the corner. I'm like, all right, cool. You're the one I'll interact with. That should be safe.
Yeah.
And like we're kind of safer when we're on the stage anyway, right? Like unless someone directly, or if the whole crowd decides at that one moment to cough in your direction, that's kind of the only thing that's going to take you down on that stage. But I don't know, because the other one was supposed to be indoor. Actually, now that I think about it. And that's true. That would have been like a gamble for sure.
Yeah. The way I've looked at it now is like, I figured, okay, I've been safe, and I don't really do a lot. I don't go really anywhere much anyways.
Yeah.
And especially during COVID, I've really minimized, right? But what I realized, like, there are a couple of moments if it's an important thing.
I was gonna say, you just traveled.
Yeah, but again, it's like where I would put that on like, okay, this is a moment where I've decided, okay, I'm gonna take the risk. You know what I mean? And so that's why, for example, like even like your wedding, I look at like your wedding, or like a friend's birthday, or like something that I've like either
Cousin's wedding.
Yeah, or something I'm getting paid a lot of money to do, like work related. So if it's something like that, I'm like,
oh, my wedding was worth gambling.
Literally, that's how I looked at
That's
it.
where you got it from.
Yeah. But that's why. So we had to do it on my cousin's wedding. It's the same thing. It's like I got there, we had a mask, and then I look around. I'm like, all right, this is just kind of just a no mask situation. We're about to sit down and eat. There's drinks. This is just one of those times where you go, okay, this is one of the ones where I'm kind of rolling the dice, and that's kind of how I've looked at it. And I just try to minimize the number of those. And now I kind of almost like, okay, so is the thing that I'm about to go do, is it worth maybe getting COVID? And then I'm like, all right.
I mean, that was like our situation too. Like for me, I was just as careful as both of you, like wearing mask everywhere, sanitizing everything. And then, of course, I got it at the wedding.
Yeah.
So.
On the flip side, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you.
And it was a lovely wedding.
I actually just changed my last name this week, guys.
Oh, officially?
Yeah, it's official. But I'm still Regine Alaina. You know what I learned, actually? I learned that on multiple documents, my name is different. Like, it's either Regine Alaina as a full name, like the first name, or it's Regine and then Alaina as a middle name. And so the lady, when I was changing my last name, was like, is it Regine Alaina or is it Regine Alaina last name? I'm like, and she's like, let me see your birth certificate. So I showed it to her, and what I had on my birth certificate, my health card, and my passport were all different. And I'm like,
what the
That's
heck?
probably not.
So I just made it where it was like Regine Alaina first name, so I don't have a middle name anymore.
I mean,
That's insane.
Yeah,
Right?
The only one where I think it really matters is you have to make sure that for travel that the passport one is fairly consistent.
I feel like that would have to match like your photo ID too, like that
But
second
that's what I
form
was
of ID,
changing,
right?
Was like all of it, besides obviously because I assumed the last name, I didn't actually legally change my last name. So my birth certificate, I'm like, let's just match how it looks on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
But even then, it doesn't specifically say if it's like there's no comma in between Regine and Alaina.
Oh.
Fun fact, guys.
Interesting.
My documents are all all crazy.
When I was younger, mine were kind of messed up too. So, because I have 2 middle names.
Oh.
And I remember my very first photo ID that I got in Saskatchewan. I was like, I don't know, 14, 15. They flipped my middle names.
Oh.
So I don't even remember what the actual order is now. I think it's like Chad Joseph, but they had it as Chad Daniel.
Okay.
But it's the wrong order, right? So, because at the end of the day, it matters what's on that birth certificate, right? And that all kind of goes back to like credit and all this other stuff. So for the first, I'd say,
oh my God, that's
3
a good
years.
point.
Yeah.
My credit.
So I dealt with a huge issue with Equifax for years, right? When I was like 18 to like early 20s.
Yeah.
Because every time I like tried to get a hit, they're like, oh, well, the name doesn't match. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, bruh, it's me. It's me.
Yeah.
It's me, bro. And then finally they were able to, I submitted all my stuff to them and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's weird. They flipped it up.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then when I got my driver's license, they fixed the ordering and everything was good to go again.
Yeah, I
So-
just changed everything. I was like, okay, let's just do it. And then like she's like, okay, signature. And I'm like, I didn't practice this signature.
You didn't practice the signature?
My signature is a bunch of scribbles anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I was just like, oh, okay.
Gotta practice the signature.
Yeah, I've got a way of doing mine now. Like if I know, like for example, if I get a new
But you
credit
guys
card,
have it easy. You don't change your last name.
that's
true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's 2022, Regine.
Okay, then change your last
maybe I
name.
will. I like my name.
See? Exactly. Like when you get married, are you going to change your last name? Probably not.
Actually, funnily enough, it's been a conversation.
Oh, damn.
But it wouldn't be hers. It would be my dad's.
Do you not have your dad's last name?
I don't.
Oh.
I have my mom's, like the maternal last name.
Oh. I mean, you can always just hyphenate both of yours together.
Maybe. That would be cool.
I'd
be open to it.
But it would be just way too long.
Yeah.
I think for me and my girlfriend, if we were, I think what would probably happen is we would just both keep our names.
Yeah.
Like I think I wouldn't change mine, but I don't think she would change hers either. I think I like my name, she likes her name, and she's like, yeah, I just don't know what the point of it would be. Because I'm just imagining like she's got all of her like, all of her accomplishments and stuff she's got, and it's all in that name.
I mean, all of my stuff is Regine Alaina. Like, I went to a Sweet 16 and it literally said Regine Alaina. I'm like, it's okay. I don't know what my last name is either. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like it would be difficult too, like when you're in a situation where you're building a brand for yourself, right? Or you've built a brand for yourself. That's what people know you as.
And that's why I just
right?
kept it Regine.
So in your case, yeah, exactly. Like it's one thing, like legally to change your name, but like in terms of like that public presence,
or like how he is
really
a
can't.
full name. Like,
I'm Scott Dion Brown.
Yeah, you're forever that. Like that's it, right?
Though? Are you forever Scott?
I'm not even. What's weird now is I'm not even used to seeing Scott Brown by
It's
itself
weird.
anymore.
That just sounds. That rolls off the tongue weird.
It does.
Scott Brown. I don't like it.
When I was doing our wedding invitations, I'm like, I wrote Scott. I think I wrote Scott Brown on it. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, it's funny because the thing is, I went by Scott Brown for most of my
Like high
my
school,
young life.
right? Yeah.
And it was only when I started thinking in terms of stage name and like more unique public persona, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But now that it's been long enough, where I'm like, I can't. Yeah, just seeing Scott Brown now looks just like, oh, I don't know, that's somebody else.
I don't even know how. Like, I think for me, Regine Alaina was always my social handles.
Yeah.
And then when the show happened, that's when it just
made
solidified as
Fair.
Regine Alaina.
Yeah.
And then Silver Lining just made it their own.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Silver Lining, when they were guests, they were like,
They was saying, they thought
It's
I was
Regine Alaina.
Yeah, they thought I was
that sounds
singing
silly.
my name. I'm like, no, I'm just saying it just rolls like that.
yeah. And the rest is history.
It's funny because going back to the whole Scott Brown thing, or just honestly all of it, because so for our engagement party, I didn't do nothing. I showed up and looked decent, but Christina, she went like ham. So we got like glass mugs, and she got one of those Cricut machines, and she made like these vinyls for everybody with the names, and it just had me thinking. I was like,
Cricket machines.
It's like
it's like a vinyl cutter.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can-
like what you.
So she
like,
made everything. She
like
made
this,
our
you could use a Cricut for. I have one. It's
So
still in the box.
it cuts things into
It
things.
cuts the So you.
it cuts the
download-
vinyl into shapes, and then you can put it
then
on
you can
items.
just-
Yeah.
Oh,
So she
I
made our
see.
invitation, like our invitations. She made our menus. She made like all the lettering for the signage. She did
See, here's
everything.
what I said. I said the exact same thing. I said I want a Cricut so I could do the exact same thing for my wedding.
Yeah.
It's still in its box.
So wait, it makes stickers?
Yeah, I will show. I'll send you a video.
It does a lot of things, but yeah, primarily,
It's worth it.
yeah.
You should get one actually.
I think I want one.
You want to buy mine? It's still.
You
in
could
its
do
box.
shirts too, I think. If you get the heat transfer, yeah, you can do the heat transfer, yeah.
Mine is literally still in its box since the pandemic started.
How do you cut like really like you can cut
Okay, well,
precise
let him finish
things?
his story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
first.
sorry, yeah, okay, I
keep
cut you
cutting
off.
So
off.
no, that wasn't
So
so
you
much
got
a
the
story as it was more of a realization that like
Yeah.
if you would have been invited to the party, it would have been a really big conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to put like Scott, like that. I don't see you as Scott. You're just Scott Dion Brown to me.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
doesn't
mean?
sound right.
It feels weird.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Scott Brown. I feel like that's somebody else.
It's just a guy.
It is probably somebody else. Like,
It's definitely somebody
it's
else.
definitely somebody else, but like it's just weird.
There you go.
Which is funny too, because when you picked it, it probably felt weird saying the whole Scott Dion Brown.
yeah.
When I picked mine, like when I decided, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna be me. I had to fight for years to like have that Chad Beloin sound, like a stage name, because it felt so weird, and sometimes it still kind of does. I'm like, yeah, probably could have picked something else, but like
What would you have picked though?
I have no idea. I probably had like some stupid ideas floating around my head. I was 12 when I picked it, man. I don't know. I was probably like Little Red. I don't know. But it's crazy now because like going to like the changing of the last name, right? Legally, I would happily do it. I have no issues changing my last name.
It's a lot
But
of
the
work.
music thing, it would always be this,
Yeah.
right? Which I think would kind of come in handy down the line because in the beginning, right, when I started doing the whole music thing and the acting, it never mattered, right? You know, people didn't. I didn't have like that group of haters that was malicious, right? That didn't start till you turn like, you know, into your teens and you get out there a little bit more. Because by the time I had 16, right, people were able to find out where I lived and all this other info. Yeah, man. On Facebook, I kid you not, I was like 16 or 17, and someone actually put Chad Beloin's mom's house on Facebook, and I had to fight with them to get it gone.
Holy crap.
But that was on
That's
Facebook.
intense.
Yeah, man, that was terrifying. And
What'd
so
you do to these people again?
I existed, man.
I just lived my life.
I woke up one day, chose violence, and it was what it was, you know.
Oh,
No, I don't know.
People are
It
mean.
happens,
Yeah.
right? People,
the internet's
especially in the age
just a
of the, I was literally gonna say, in the age of the internet, right? People look for anything and anything that they can do, and I mean that's not even the worst that's happened, but it was up there.
That's crazy.
The worst that's ever happened was they called I was supposed to do a TV show, and I was doing a performance. This is probably 2015, and they actually called in and threatened the studio, like
Stop.
harm. They threatened harm.
Yeah.
And I was actually getting like a haircut and all this. I was getting ready to do the show, and the producer called me and they're like, "We have to cancel you." I'm like, "What?
Oh my
What-
God, should we check
what
outside
happened?
before we let him go?
You guys are fine."
Nobody knows. Nobody knows where we are, Regine.
I kept it a secret.
Good.
Remember? Surprise.
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
Surprise.
Surprise, we're
That's
here.
right.
So okay, when you guys get married, let me know, and I will let Christina know the process that I went through. If she
feel it'll be
chooses
a-
to change her last name. But it, like, for me, just really quickly to wrap this up, when I MC pageants specifically Galaxy, because all of it's my actual last name. I don't say Regine Alaina
Oh.
because like when I compete in pageants, I give my full name, right?
True.
Like first name, last name. And so when I MC'd Galaxy, my husband was like, "Well, what did you say your name was?" I'm like, "Calm down. It's not legally changed yet, but now it officially is."
Now it's official.
Crazy.
Should we listen to some music?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay, wait, hang on. I have to get it. So, people, I don't know if you noticed, we kind of started like slightly late.
YOLO.
And it's because we had some issues with I'm not going to explain it. Just we had some issues with the camera and some
Tech
stuff.
issues.
I walked in, tripped on a cord, and it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
His memory loss kicked in. He's like, "Where am I?"
Yeah. So what we're going to do is get the song going, but I just got to get it imported here because normally I do all of this before, but
He was frazzled.
I was frazzled. So just give us one moment.
So I just sit here and just start doing the acapella, you know, and boom.
I mean,
call
if
it a
you
day.
want to.
we'll
No,
be
we
good.
want the whole song.
We'll be
Dylan.
good.
Yeah, this isn't like an acapella kind of song, you know?
Yeah.
No.
In fact, yeah. Tell us. Oh,
Yeah,
hang on.
tell us
hang
about
on.
Oh,
it.
heck yeah. So this song, it was a weird kind of process because I started writing this song about probably 6 months to a year. before actually finishing it and releasing it. And that's been a common trend. I think we spoke on that the last time we were all on the air together. It was like it takes me really freaking long. So with this one here, I remember I heard when I teamed up with the producer, I heard this chorus, like the instrumental for that chorus section, and it came to me. It was like, just felt such it gave me this vibe of jealousy, right? Ooh. This vibe of wanting something that you can't have, right? And so I started kind of playing with that concept. So the whole general concept of the song is essentially saying, like, you know, you want them, right? You can't have them, you want them, and it's like that last ditch effort, you know, to be like, I gotta say it now, kind of thing. And that was kind of the concept I had with the song. And the funny thing is, so the reason it even took so long to write is the hook was so. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to talk it up, but I felt like the chorus was so powerful and just well put together in terms of how I structured it. I was like, I want to butcher this with the verse. So it came back to that confidence thing, right? But it worked out really well. I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. I know that people have gotten me, or have given me a pretty good reception.
Sweet.
I'm excited, man. I'm happy that people are enjoying it as much as I enjoyed making it. So
wonderful.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'm having an issue importing it because it's not showing up here. So what we're going to do
Did I send it to you in the wrong format?
Well, you sent it to me in a format, but it looks like OBS doesn't want to read it. But it's fine. I think we can still get it to work. Just give me a moment. So let me see.
We are live.
We are live. It's a live show, people. Don't you guys worry.
How about while we do this, since it is on you?
Oh.
Well, no, it's playing there. Hang on.
This sounds familiar.
Okay, but I'm not sure.
But they can't hear it, right?
The audience can hear that yet.
So while Scott's doing his magic, this is, like we said, your third time on the show.
It is.
You've been on all platforms. What do you think of the in person?
I like this.
You like this
I like
better?
this setup. I mean, I like this better because it feels for me more comfortable, right?
You're literally on
I'm
the
not.
couch.
I mean, well, in the last one, I was literally sitting beside. Actually, the last one I did with you guys, I had to fight myself not to sit on the bed. So that would have been like peak comfort.
Yeah.
But I mean, the energy of being in the room with you guys feels so much better. It's great too with like the setup with the couches. This is so comfortable, right? Because I remember at the studio, right? It was, you know, typical radio station vibe, right?
Yeah.
So you're all sitting there on these chairs, and I don't know what the heck I was wearing. I actually went back and watched it, and I was like still in my jacket, but it was like a big jacket because I rode Black Widow that day. My bike.
Oh yeah, that's
right.
I
rode my bike that day, so I was like still trying to warm myself up.
Yeah, that studio had speakers, heaters in them. Like you
really?
Yeah, I
don't
remember
that.
I do remember that too. Now that you mention that, yeah, the little tower heaters.
Yeah.
No, so this is by far, I think, the most you, right? This really gives me that vibe
100%.
of you guys. You know, you guys have really done a good job making it so personal. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
no, yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna throw in a crowd in here somewhere, and then throw some sparkle in here.
All right, I'm trying to see. I'm just not sure if this will work, but I think it will. But we're gonna find out.
Can we just play it on YouTube?
Yeah. The issue is I want to make sure we can capture easily the video. I'm trying to figure out if we can capture the audio and why it's.
I think worst case you could do a web source, and that would output the audio as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I just don't know if this thing.
Just try it. See what happens.
This is the one opportunity I get to make funny faces at the camera.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is being picked up. Okay, hang on. Let me. Okay, hang on. For a moment now, the audience, you guys are going to see the album art for this song. We're just going to switch over to it.
Selfish for your love.
And let's see if something happens here. Where is it? Okay.
Just a
don't wanna hear about it anymore. I don't wanna hear about your fights with him. Only 'cause you know I can treat you better. But girl, you know that it's gotta end. Oh, girl, I'm selfish for your love. I just can't get enough of you. One more than I got. And oh, I'm so sick of playing pretend that I am not in love, and that we can just be friends. It was cool in the beginning. I never thought I would come to this. I'm not me when I get jealous, but this ain't what jealousness is. Girl, he ain't even right for you. You listen to the things you like, and you know I can treat you better. Don't you know that he's gotta go? Girl, I'm selfish for your love. I just can't get enough of you. One more than I got. And oh, I'm so sick of playing pretend that I am not in love, and that we can just be friends. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Talk but you won't night long. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Talk but you won't night long. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Girl, it's gotta end, 'cause I can't be friends with you. He's not the one for you. Girl, it's gotta end, 'cause I can't be friends with you. He's not the one for you. Oh, girl, I'm selfish for your love. I just can't get enough of you. One more than I got. And oh, I'm so sick of playing pretend that I am not in love, and that we can just be friends. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Talk but you won't night long. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Talk but you won't night long. Wanna stay up but you won't night. Oh, girl, I'm selfish for your love. I just can't get enough of you. One more than I got. And oh, I'm so sick of playing pretend that I am not in love, and that we can just be friends.
And we got it working, as you heard. That was Selfish by Chad Beloin. Awesome track.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So tell us a bit about that song.
So, as I mentioned before we went into playing the track, I worked really, really hard to make sure that I actually like put that care and the quality into the chorus, and really the whole song in general. But when I first started writing this, and Scott actually had to remind me, because I like to talk, right? So I'm starting to tell this guy the whole rundown of like, oh, when I was writing this, and he's like, my guy, like,
Just wait.
Save it
for the people, you know. Yeah. So I started writing this song at like 3 a.m. and I remember just that chorus alone took me from like 3 a.m. to I don't know why I was looking at the camera. You guys are sitting right here. From like 3 a.m.
Audience, yeah.
That is true. Hi, Mom. Straight through to like 7 a.m., right?
Wow.
And literally, I kid you not, I think I had like 4 or 5 different iterations of that chorus, and like every single one, but this version was like just janky as heck.
Oh, wow.
Like, because like for me, and I don't know if you write yours differently, but when I write my music, I do like kind of tape solutions, right? So even like Without You, with that song there, the version that initially was released, I used just a really weird word in a certain spot, right? So I'll do that every now and then like, this word's better, and I'll kind of play like musical chairs with all the words and all that, and I'll do like too many takes. So for this one here, when it came into actually writing the song, I was basing it off of like a demo I recorded using like a gaming headset in my iPad, and I just like did the hook, and I'm like, all right, let's write. And then 6 months later, finally it came to me. I'm like, oh, this verse would sound dope, and it just kind of kicked off this writing kind of fire for me. And
Nice.
again, I hope that everybody at home enjoyed it, and hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But yeah,
We did.
Yeah, it sounds great. So when you're writing, are you kind of recording as you're doing it at the same time, or are you sitting down with are you a pen and paper, right? Like when you're putting out the lyrics, how do you do it?
So I wouldn't say I'm pen and paper. I haven't been for a very long time. Usually it's I'll pop in like my AirPods, open up notes, right, throw on the instrumentals, and I'll be like, okay, let's write. Like I treat it kind of like the same way I would when I actually go to record, right? I treat it kind of like a 9 to 5, right? So my goal for that day is wake up, and if I'm writing, it's wake up, start writing, and then this cutoff time is this cutoff time, right? Sometimes I end up stuck at a dead end, and I'm like listening to it over and over and over again, and maybe I get a little bit of somewhere with the melody, but I get nowhere with the words. Or maybe like for certain songs, like I've gotten like one word, right? One word, I'm like, I'm gonna sing this word like this, and it's gonna sound so good, right? I just don't have the rest of it yet, right?
Yeah. Because that's it's a huge part of it, right? It's because you're not just trying to find what you're trying to say, but there's also the words have to have they need to sound pleasant, right? Yeah. So you're kind of finding, so it's,
So one of the tracks off the upcoming record, and I've teased it a little bit literally over the years, but it's a track called One More Chance. And I've got so much of it done, just not, the parts that make it finished. And which I know is like a really janky way of saying it's not done yet. It feels better when I say it's almost done. Just couple of touches here and there. But going into the pre-chorus, right? So I have first verse done, second verse done, pre-chorus not yet.
Yeah.
But I have the last line of that pre-chorus, and I know however I do it, it's going to be absolutely baller. I had to stop myself from swearing there. I almost said,
fine.
But it's going to be dope. It's going to be great. It's just when I get those words. And I think that's the most exciting but the most frustrating thing about making music, especially when you're writing the music, is you have those moments where nothing comes to you. And in my case, it's for months or years or, you know. What can you do?
And I think every artist listening has that same experience where I've got several little projects where I just, my biggest problem I find is that when I have those things that I know, I can't find that one part, in my brain it becomes this really, really colossal problem. And then I'll have this tendency to like almost stay away from it. Like I'm like, okay, I'll get to that, but I better work on this first. And that's how stuff kind of gets put off.
I do the complete opposite.
Oh, really?
I do the complete opposite. Yeah. When I start working on a song, if it doesn't come to me, I actually hone in on it more, which I think is probably detrimental now that I think about it.
I don't know.
But like for me, it's like I'm committed to this song. I'm going to get this one done. Although I will argue that the reason that we just had Selfish to listen to is because that's exactly what I did. I'm like, no, this song needs to happen like now. Yeah. Because I said I was going to release this song like a year ago or like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I've been teasing this song. I kid you not. That demo hook that I recorded on my iPad, I started teasing that around on like BandLab and Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff.
Like that has to happen.
Yeah. I'm like, people been asking me like, hey, where's it at? And I'm like, it's coming.
But then it's kind of good because then people keep you accountable.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's true.
That is true. Maybe I just need you to keep me accountable the same way we did with the guitar strings. Now you're going to have to be like, Chad, did you finish the album yet? Yeah. Where's it at, man?
To all of our viewers watching, follow him on socials and make sure you keep him accountable.
Keep him there. Yeah. But no, I definitely think your way of you're stuck on this part and you hone on it. I think that's better because, for me, I find once I start working on it, I'll work on it but what I find is like, so let's say I have a to-do list of like 20 things to do, right? And one of them is like, finish this song, right? Or finish a video. It's the same process more or less. But if I know that, for example, in the video, there's like a visual effect shot or something that I just know is going to be like really real difficult to do. Yeah. And and worse is like, I'm not even 100% sure how I'm going to do it. And I'm also not even 100% sure if it's going to work. When you've got that combination of things, it automatically almost like, it just finds itself at the bottom of my list. Like, okay, well, before I do that, I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. And then what happens is the day comes to the end, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just do that tomorrow then. And then it's easy for it to, like, it's like the procrastinator in me pushes it away. And that's the part that I find I have to, like, work against.
But you know what you do need to do and you haven't done yet?
Uh-oh.
The ads.
Oh, our ad break. Good call, Regine. You see, that's the thing.
Excuse me.
It's because I knew they were coming, but in my mind, I was like, I'm procrastinating. No, I completely forgot about the ads. Okay, let's get the ads done, and then we're going to come back and chat some more with
I'm like, how can I jump in to remind you like this?
It was
is the
perfect segue.
time.
Perfect segue.
I'm like, hang on.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by some very, very important people. They make this show possible because they are our advertisers, ladies and gentlemen. So, here they are. I wasn't sure what I was going to say there, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor. That's right. The place I'm living in right now, she helped me find it. She's great to work with. She gives you all the information you need. Really fantastic. She's my realtor. She could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Beautified by Romina.
Internationally trained hair and makeup artist. She is the official hair and makeup artist of The Sit Down, as well as my own personal hair and makeup artist. She does everything from events, so concerts, pageants, weddings, photo shoots, corporate photo shoots. She does it all. So make sure you reach out to her on Instagram and Facebook at Beautified by Romina.
That's right. Official makeup artist of The Sit Down. Get in touch. And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's super easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad, that's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do the show live, people, every week. And what does that mean? It means that you can personalize the ads week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time, particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show ad, radioshowad@gmail.com. Also, people,
Since Chad really wanted one.
yeah, do you want to sip like a champion?
Yes.
Get yourself the mug. teespring.com/the sit down mug. Available now.
Are you ordering one, Chad?
Yes, I am.
And actually, the link is in the description. You can see it right down below. And also, I think on YouTube, they have like the featured shop. And I think a bunch of our sit down merch is there. So check it all out, people online. But check it out.
Chad's literally ordering one.
And we are back, people. Also, I did want to tell you guys, actually, before we dive fully back into it, there is a competition coming up, and it's happening on November the 19th. But what I found out about it, it's a singing competition, and we've been talking a bit about it, right? But what I have found out since then is that the November 19th is actually the like the finale, like the finals of the competition. So there are actually preliminary rounds. There are preliminary rounds. And the preliminary rounds I think are happening all throughout the month of November. I think it's like every Saturday or something. So if you would like to be competing, I think you got to get in touch earlier, which is why I want to let everybody know. So I was also just here
Here it is.
here. So here is the event. It is the Canada Center Stage Singing Competition, open to solo singers and group singers, max 5 per group. So if you have 6 people in your singing group,
Sucks just to be
kick
you.
them out. Sorry, George, you're done. Okay.
George, what did George do to
He's
you?
he's the 6th member of the group. Unfortunately, he has to go. There's a youth division, there's a prime division, there's a seniors division, and if you'd like to be a part of it, the grand finals will be happening at the Zinflix stage. The event is sponsored by JDL Performing Arts, and get in touch at 647
996-7755 or 647-403-8857.
87. I think it's 8887.
Or like 57.
It might
One
be-
of the two.
It's whatever you could see. It's a little far away from us. All right. Or email canadacenterstage@gmail.com to find out all the info. I'm one of the judges at that event.
Oh.
And I will be ruthless.
Sorry, George.
So get off this.
If your name is George.
I'm
Oh my
taking-
God, are you going to be Simon Cowell?
Yeah, I'm taking my inspiration from Simon Cowell. I'm going to wear a tight black t-shirt.
V-neck t-shirt.
That was
I got one
the-
you can borrow if you need one.
There
Oh,
you go.
beautiful. Perfect. Yeah, that's why I brought you on the show today. I just wanted to.
Well, let's
You
be
just wanted to
real.
ask me to borrow the shirt.
Yeah.
Scott's going to go to Value Village and find a shirt.
That was the worst performance I've ever seen.
That was the worst performance I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
that's not his accent, is it? I got it wrong. He's more.
That was more like Count
It was-
Nocula.
Yeah, it was. Good try, Scott. Good try.
No, because I can hear that I'm saying his accent wrong, but I can't figure out why.
Because you're trying too
That-
hard.
The worst.
Anyways.
Anyways,
It's going to be embroiled in my head now.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, watch out, people. But I think it's going to be a fun competition. I think the preliminary rounds I believe are happening at Bridalwood Mall. I think it's like every Saturday in November, leading up to the 19th.
So, Chad, if you're attempting to sign up, he's a judge.
That actually kind of scares me just a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe I'm not going to let him borrow the
Just
shirt.
kidding.
He's not going to borrow the shirt.
Or
then.
maybe
Maybe I'll
letting you
wear the
borrow-
shirt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
We could be like twinning, and then I could use that to my advantage.
Yeah.
No, if I let him borrow the shirt, then that's blatant. They'll just be like, all right, no, you're
Be like-
what's the word I'm looking
conflict
for?
Of interest.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that was the worst performance. And you'll be like, you are the worst
That was better.
judge.
That was better.
Yeah.
No, just stop. Just
Building.
stop.
It'll go back and forth. Anyways,
Stop.
contest is happening. Okay, we should talk. We didn't talk specifically. So we just heard the song.
Yes.
Selfish. And I know you came out with the live album, but I believe
Yes.
it's today, right? That you
It's today.
re-released the remasters of your first. Well, tell us what came
Tell
out.
us
Yeah.
what just happened.
So today, and it's funny because I didn't even realize it was happening today, and I was like, oh dang, that lines up super duper well. So I just released.
Let's get Chad on the show.
Kid you not? Yeah, Midnight Hit, and my first two albums are officially back on streaming services
Wait, what do you
after.
mean? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you mean by officially re-released?
So, some interesting stuff happened when I got signed a couple of years ago.
Oh, tell us.
One of those things that happened was they wanted me to pull down my previous catalog. So the goal was essentially eradicate everything that happened up to that point, start over.
Oh.
Right? So I did because it was in the terms, and I'm like, okay, I'll do this. I'll remove everything. We'll start from scratch. And then once that relationship ended, I was like, okay, I could re-release them. Except the way that I released them when they first came out, because this was so long ago, things have changed, right? There's new guidelines. Stores have new different rules. So I ran into a lot of issues trying to just re-release them. And a lot of the songs, because a lot of them are so old anyway, especially from like my first album, like that, even though it came out in 2014, some of those songs were recorded all the way back in like 2010. Like
Wow.
they are older tracks. Only I'd say 4 or 5 are like brand new at the time songs for that record, right? So I was like, all right, it's I've learned a lot. I've come a long way in my mixing and mastering. I'll put some polish on them and then re-release them.
Awesome.
Ran into a couple issues. So on the it's funny because I've stylized it and I shot myself in the foot when I did this. So on the album art it's MMXVII, but the album is actually just called 2017. It feels weird saying 2017, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on that record I actually had to lose like 2 songs that were on the original release because licensing lapsed and I couldn't renew it.
Oh.
So I actually lost 2 tracks off the record, and I'm kind of cheesed about it because they were good songs. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm just happy that people can listen to them again. You know what I mean? Like that. I had a lot of people reach out to me like, oh my gosh, you should re-release this song. You should put this one back out. Like songs that were never singles. Like off the first one, there was one called I Gotta Have You Again. People used to keep asking me like, yo, can you put this song back out? And I'm like, I'm trying.
I could, but
It was more of a I'm trying, because I've been fighting ever since I left the contract. I've been trying to get the stuff re-released. So, but again, going back to because they're so long ago and guidelines have changed. For example, there's 2 editions of the original album. There was your standard edition and deluxe edition.
Ooh.
However, nowadays, right, if you do a standard and deluxe, they share the same ISBN or the same UPC, and every song shares the same, essentially, registration information.
Okay, yeah.
Back then, on the platform that I use, they didn't. So even though they're the same song, right, on both different records, they have different registration information.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to re-release it and it says, has this been released before? And I'm like, yes, it has. I'm excited to have it back. And they're like, give us the ID. And we're like, which one do you want?
Yeah.
There's 2. And it needs 1, right? And every time you try to do it, it's like, it's already been released under a different... So it was a very frustrating process, and it was a good opportunity to, again, breathe new life into them, make them sound better, and then have them put back out. And some of the songs I actually had to like go more than just, fine-tuning things. There's a song off the first record called I Guess Goodnight, and I actually had to like deconstruct the song using like an AI algorithm and just kind of redo it right then and there on the fly. So I used an AI tool to like strip off the vocals, get rid of the instrumental track, brought in like the clean and polished one, and then did some kind of fancy stuff with it. So I was really excited with how it turned out, just because like it was one of my favorite songs. I think it was one of the most beautiful songs. It was just me, my voice, a piano, and some strings, right? So typical kind of pop ballad.
Yeah.
So it was such a strong way to close everything out. And back in the day, the way I recorded it, it just sounded bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, I want to make it sound mono, like a cassette tape. No, that was bad artistic stylings. I should at least cleaned it up a touch, but it sounds incredible now, almost as intended. So I'm really excited, and people can finally hear it again.
Where can they hear it?
Everywhere.
So
the easiest answer is everywhere, right? Any major streaming platform, it can be purchased, streamed. It's even on TikTok and Instagram Music. So
use it on TikTok, guys.
And tag me in it.
Add it to your song. Add it to your videos.
Yeah.
I have the same situation with a lot of my band's older stuff where it's been on the list for a long time. It's something we got to get around
it's
to.
on the bottom of his priority list.
But we got to just remaster them, because the thing is, I really like, honestly, I like all of our stuff that we've created, which is like, but the problem that I have with it is that I think what you're describing, there were a lot of things in terms of just the technical side, the recording side, the mixing, mastering especially, a little bit of the performance side, but more the mixing and mastering, where it's like, if you don't, and that can really destroy a song. Like even if all the parts are there, if they're not mixed and mastered in the right way, it just doesn't sound good. And so that's why, like, now if you search for my band, like, there's very little that's actually out there, because most of our early stuff we have pulled down with the intention of putting it out again.
Let's all hold him accountable, first off. Okay,
also, yes, let's all hold him accountable. Yeah. But out of curiosity, do you still have like your stems and all like your backups like that?
So, in fact, what's funny is for our very first album, for the original version of it, we don't. But sometime not long after we released that album, we decided to redo it. And I think for that we do have them, but
that's where you're lucky.
But they might just need to be polished a little bit, because I think it's not 100% finished. But I believe we actually re-recorded the entire album, and I probably have it on a hard drive somewhere, maybe even in here.
Probably get that out there.
Yeah, so I'd like to get that out there.
Move that to the top of the list.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I might. You know what the thing is, because I think I'm not even sure if we did all the vocals, so I might actually have to go in and like re-sing some of these old songs, which honestly I'd actually be excited to do.
It's a trip down memory lane right there.
Yeah, but what I would like to do is I would try to like record them as they were intended, how I first like wrote them. You know, like I don't want to do like how like what George Lucas does with Star Wars, where he seems to want to keep going back, and like every time he releases a new edition of the movie, he changes something.
Oh,
you know, like. But I would like to very much maintain the original artistic integrity of like whatever 16-year-old me wanted it to be, just making sure that like it sounds the way I wanted it to sound back then. So
I feel that.
So anyways, that's another thing. So that's why you're hearing you talk about it, that you're actually able to go back to your old stuff and now it's out. Like that's so I find it very inspiring.
I was gonna say,
so.
you're gonna put it on the top of your priority list.
It can't go to the top. There's too much to do right now, but it's coming. It's
Top
coming.
5.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
So that was actually a fun concept too, the whole going back and re-recording stuff. And that's a concept I've been playing with too, because it's not like super duper close, but it's in the next like 5 years, 7 years I'll be doing music for 20 years very soon. Because I started in like 2004, 2005. So what, 2024, 2025, that's 20 years of doing music. And
that's amazing.
I've been very blessed in the fact that I started off strong, right? Because like coming out the gate, I was releasing like mixtapes. Back then I called them albums, right? But now I tried to bury them as far back as I could, you know? But I was releasing, up to 2 to 3 a year.
Oh, okay.
Consistently, right? That only slowed down in about 2012. So one cool thing, especially because now that we've gotten back into the remasters are out, but also at the same time, like those 2 records were so, I guess, I don't want to say monumental because I'm not like at a level where something could be monumental, but in terms of like where I'm at right now, literally without those 2 records, it never would have happened. I wouldn't be sitting on this couch. You know what I mean?
But technically, that's true. You wouldn't be here.
It's true
Because you are as an artist, basically.
It really is. Like it's what broke me onto the radio. Like that first record, Out of This World. If it wasn't for December, I wouldn't have been on like major radio. Like that got me on Disney XM. I think we spoke about that. You weren't there for that one, but you and I think we spoke about that during that interview. So like that was like,
that's cool.
I'm not going to call it a big break, but that was a very big moment, right?
Break.
Yeah.
Because being on Disney XM, especially all the way back then, like that was a big thing. Or even with my second record with Drag Me Down, like that is still a song where I can't go on stage without doing that song, right? Or I get questions of, why didn't you do Drag Me Down? And I'm like, because I hit puberty in the last 2 years and I can't hit those notes no more. But so I'm very thankful for what they are in their current state, but I've been kind of playing with an idea going into the 20 years where it would be fun to revisit certain songs off those records and re-record them and maybe package them as like an updated recording, but still kind of like what you had in mind, right? The way as intended, right? So don't have to go in and make it all super duper new and fancy, right? Do it as intended, but just redo it, right? Relive those moments.
It'd be like doing it's a greatest hits, but it's a little bit more than a greatest hits.
Greatest hits with a twist.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. In fact, you know what it is? It's like the Star Wars Special Edition, but the first version. See, so when George Lucas released the first Special Edition, all he did was he went back and he redid the visual effects that weren't capable of doing the ones the way he wanted it to be in the 70s because the technologies didn't exist. So that first version of the Special Edition is like, he did make a couple artistic choices that I still to this day don't like. Greedo shoots first. No, he didn't. Okay, George, I'm sorry. But other than that, it's like the spaceships flying through the air and stuff, It's like, so the idea of you going back and like revisiting that original song with being like, this is how I wanted it, but I just couldn't because of technical things. I think that could be a cool thing. Yeah. Put it out that way.
I think so. And I'd like to do that in line with Encore when that finally comes out, because I don't want to do it right on that 20th, but I'd like to do them along the same times, because the whole premise with the Encore show is this is my first show, my full set, no matter what length it is, it's all originals. Ooh. Like this is, and that's an exciting moment too, right? Like, usually it's, I'm out there belting out, I want it that way, and a little bit of NSYNC, maybe some All for One. Whereas this time around, it was just me, and it got so well received. That felt great, being in like the middle of dang Toronto. That's awesome. Right? Apparently there was like 11,000 people in attendance that day. Wow! I think was the numbers that got reported back to me. That's so. Awesome. For me not to A, get booed off stage, and B, that people weren't silent, like it was loud, man. That's exciting. That felt so freaking. I'm getting anxious thinking about it. Like I can feel I don't know. It was really cool. So I'm excited. So to do something like that in line with the release of Encore, because I do plan to do like full-on shows with the Encore set list. Accountable. Yeah. I just keep stacking stuff onto my plate. That's what it is. I'm hungry.
On top of planning a wedding.
Yes. We do have a timeline set kind of for that too, but. That I'm going to keep hush-hush about at the moment.
All right, so people, lots coming down the pipeline from Chad Beloin. Be ready. We're going to see new stuff, and we're going to maybe see the revisit of some classic material in a new way, but exciting. So keep it.
And because of that, maybe we'll get something from him too.
Yeah, that stuff's it's coming. You know, like I guys don't know if you've noticed, I've uploaded a new channel to my YouTube video, two videos a week in a row. So I did one last Monday, and the previous Monday, and there's another video coming tomorrow. So I am trying to get back to a regular schedule of like weekly releases of things. And in those releases, I think I'm going to be working music in there as well. But because I really like, for solid, I don't know, several months, there was like, the only content on my channel was the sit down, the sit down and like gaming, right? Which I love that. It's great to do. But I still wanted to have regular uploads. And so I'm trying to see if I can hold myself to weekly. And then
we will.
So
we will hold you up to that. But something that is also weekly on the show, and I know Chad does have work today.
We have one more segment to do.
We
That's
do.
right.
That's okay with me.
All right. Well, everybody, there's a special segment here on the channel, and this is a segment you haven't been a part of because it's only for in-person people in this version of the studio.
This studio.
So be prepared. It's a storied competition.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen,
boy.
introducing the Barrel of Monkeys World Championship.
His face says it all.
So, I must ask, have you ever played Barrel of Monkeys before?
No, I have not. No, the reason for the face is, so this was a thing still from the old studio, and I remember seeing the barrel there, and we talked about it off camera, and you're like, yeah, we would play it if Regine was here. Regina, I said your name wrong.
Did we do it at the old studio? I don't remember.
I remember this.
Possibly we did. Okay, well then, so here, I will explain. You should be. No, let me explain how the game works. Okay, so this is a barrel of monkeys. Inside here, there are 13 monkeys, okay? They look like this. They're all the same.
Okay.
The way it works is the game starts, you'll have 1 minute. You pour out the monkeys onto the table. You pick up one monkey. You use this monkey to pick up another monkey.
Okay.
And then you're going to use the next monkey to try to pick up yet another monkey.
Stop cheating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using my hand to help it, but just so you see what it looks like.
I think he gets.
There we go.
He gets it, Scott. He gets it.
So you're trying to make. Why won't it hook on?
Doesn't like you.
There you go. So you're trying to make a long line of monkeys. Okay?
Oh boy.
And if you end up with multiple monkeys on one, that will just count as one monkey. So it's like we're really counting links of monkeys.
Okay.
Okay. The one in your hand doesn't count towards your total. So if you pick up, if you have one in your hand, there's two, then your total is 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see the standing.
Do you have any questions?
What happens if I lose?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get like
kick you
slime.
out. No,
I thought I was gonna
kidding.
get like slimed or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we've got one of those. Yeah.
I had to look up for a second.
Yeah. Here, let's remind everybody of the standings. So currently, the grand champion at the moment, at the very top, Scott Dion
cheated.
Brown with 9 monkeys. Incredible.
Because he cheated.
I don't think so. We go back
Yeah, you
to
did.
appeal it to the judges. I think we're okay.
You are a judge.
Second place. Second place is filled with 8 people.
Ah,
Regine, Alaina.
8 people.
Oh, 4 people. Sorry, 8 monkeys. Regine, Alaina, Leticia representing Team Canada Galaxy, Mika representing JDL Cupid Arch, and Alona Fiandaka all sitting in second place with 8. Joyce Chan hits 7 monkeys. Garson Carroll, 5 monkeys. Jessica Lazaro, 4. Dana Beto, 4 monkeys. So that's kind of what you're competing with. I'm gonna hand you
Either beat
the
4
monkeys.
or beat 9.
So I'm gonna blame COVID brain here. Did you give me a time limit?
1
1
minute.
It is 1 minute. Okay.
So
Am I allowed to like reshuffle this at all?
Yeah, you can give it a shake
You
if
can
you
shake
want.
it now.
So basically, the way it works.
But I can't reshake it.
No.
No. So what happens is.
Sorry.
Yeah. When
I want to turn me off there. I'm going in on this one.
Yeah. When it starts, so the barrel will be sitting on the table, and when I
Okay.
say go, you'll grab the barrel and dump them out on the table, and then you don't need the barrel anymore.
Oh, I don't do it in the.
Yeah, you don't do it from the barrel. Sorry, yeah, I was pulling it out of the barrel just to make a mess. But no, you're going to pour a pile
Man,
onto the table.
You had me terrified. So I don't have to do it from the up angle. Well,
no,
technically,
no.
I mean, I'm gonna have to do it because.
No. Yeah,
I'm
so
thinking way too much into this.
Yeah, sorry.
You
So
can move your mic.
Yeah, you move your mic over. So
Let's get
yeah,
this.
basically
This way.
you're gonna pour the barrel of monkeys onto the table. Then you're gonna pick up one monkey, and then you're just gonna keep stacking them on top of each other.
I'm gonna get into my my game mode here. Hold on.
Okay, do it up. Do it up.
Adjust our camera. He knocked it over.
Oh, our camera.
Yeah.
I am
Oh,
so sorry.
It's okay.
there we go. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I should have explained it. I should have explained it better.
Can you please put it on?
All right, he's ready. So yeah. So you're going to. So when I say go,
Okay.
you grab the barrel, pour them out, and then pick up one monkey, and then start hooking.
I'm just
Exactly.
gonna move all things away from me right
Yes,
now.
this I get very competitive, guys.
Good.
So do
no,
we,
this is
don't
it. This is what we
worry.
want. All right. So, here we go, people. I'm gonna get the timer ready.
I was
Hang
gonna
on.
say you
I've
do
even
that.
got my hands behind my back.
Love that.
All right, we've got
If I
the.
bomb. This is gonna be really sad because I'm putting on way too cocky of energy right
You
now.
got this. You got this. I like the energy. Okay. So, are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh wow.
All right.
I already bombed this.
You're fine.
Starts. Yep. Just keep.
Don't
Stay
stress.
steady. All right. So that's one monkey there. It's
You're
fine. You
good.
can just keep going.
I was gonna ask if I could like try to re-knock them all.
You can knock it off. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you knock them all off,
Okay. Nice. Another guy. We got a pretty good start.
I know.
Maybe tilt the camera down a bit, Regine.
Sorry, I'm all up in this space.
You're fine.
Let me move this a little- Oh no, I lost.
Just keep on rolling. Don't panic. 30 seconds have elapsed. Ooh, nice.
I might want to mute my mic. There might be some experts.
It's fine.
You're doing just fine. You got a good technique, actually. First time playing, you're doing pretty good.
Shoot.
I like that you're using the momentum of the swing to grab them. 10 seconds remaining. Oh, we lost one. Can he recover? Oh.
Ooh, ooh.
Nice. 3.
No. Come on, you little bugger.
Be careful.
Time.
Wait, leave it.
All right.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6.
6.
6. You know what? That's not bad. That was not bad at all. Considering that was literally your very, very first time, that was not bad at all. Six monkeys. Yeah, you had a very good start there. All right, let's update the standings.
All right.
Updating the standings here. So 6 monkeys, right, Regine? Mm-hmm. That was not. You know what? That was not bad at all.
That was really intense.
So that was literally your very first time.
I've literally never. No.
Incredible. Great start.
You gotta wipe down this table, Scott.
Maybe we do. Chad Beloin sitting in there at 6 monkeys. Hang on, I gotta adjust the size here. There we go.
I'm gonna have to come back again in like 6 months so I
Yeah.
can beat that number. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Good
practice
train.
up for this now. I
Yep.
hope you know that.
It's
I know.
gonna be on his next Amazon order.
Oh, it will. Did they all come with 13 monkeys?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Okay.
standard.
I thought I had to go like hunting and make sure that I just take out a few.
No,
Yeah, I believe as long as you
Oh,
get the
I'm coming
official
prepared.
barrel of monkeys, it'll be that. So you are now sitting in 4th place.
Look at you.
6 monkeys.
It's better
6
than
monkeys.
being last.
I'd like to thank my mom.
But well done. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So yeah, how do you feel about your first barrel of monkeys performance?
I feel like I could have brought it more, you know, and if I would have just come in hydrated, it would have been absolutely incredible.
Blame the coffee.
I mean, we did spring it on him a little bit. So you know,
That's the best.
That's the best way to do it, man.
Yeah.
Got to have the pressure.
Because then he would have been practicing all weekend.
true.
I'm just happy we didn't play a "What's in your backpack" game because I would just no.
What's
that's
in your
a bad game.
backpack?
Don't want to play
Yeah,
that
that's
game.
But that
Too
was
many
great.
snacks, man. Too many snacks.
Well, you're going to work, so it's fine.
That is
Very
true.
true.
That is true.
All right. Well, this was great. Chad, before we say goodbye, where can people find you?
This would go back to a little bit everywhere. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Snapchat, I'm on TikTok. All you got to do is look up Chad Beloin, and you'll find me right there. And you can listen to me on every single streaming platform, including and I just found this one out, Audio Mac, which is 100% free.
Oh.
And
Yo, man.
it's unlike Spotify, where you know when you click a song, it loads into a playlist. You can listen to the whole album for free,
wow.
and you can donate what you feel you want to contribute if you want to,
Awesome.
and it's purely optional. Yeah.
Audio Mac. All right, so there you go. Find Chad on all audio streaming platforms and all social media platforms. Just search up Chad Beloin. I've got your Instagram linked down below, but I can add more links as well if you want me to. You can send me any links
Perfect.
if you want later. I'll
Yeah.
add them. But right now his Insta's down there, or just again search Chad Beloin. You'll find him.
Actually, the easiest one is just go to my link tree.
There you
Oh,
go.
which is in my Instagram bio.
There you
It
go.
has everything.
There you go. Link in description, people. Give them a follow. Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down. We do go live every week. This week we will be going live on Thursday. And it's in the description, I believe. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It's Regine Alaina. Scott,
Yeah.
where can people find you?
You can find me right here where you're watching this very video. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. Make sure you're subscribed. We get lots of different content on here. We got gaming content. It hasn't been 5 nights a week for a while. It's been closer to 3 just because things are more busy these days. But quite regular gaming. We got the sit down every Sunday, and we're back to regular uploads. Lately, I've been posting videos. I'm building a cinema camera so that I can make films with my own camera. So I've been slowly. 2 weeks ago, I uploaded the kind of the reveal of the actual camera body, and then
Nice camera.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then I released the shoulder mount, and tomorrow another one's coming out. It's going to be actually a review of the follow focus that I decided to use. So if you're into gear at all or want to see what I've been doing, that's coming. But there's also music, there's comedy sketches, all sorts of stuff. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. Follow me there. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter if you would like. Also TikTok at Scott Dion Brown Official. YouTube is the best place though, because those are all basically satellites to the YouTube channel.
And
That's where everyone's
follow
found.
The Sit Down on all
But
social
yeah,
media.
that's right. You can go on TikTok, follow the sit down at the sit down with SDB. You can follow the Sit Down Radio Show on Instagram or Sit
need to
Down
change
Scott
that.
on Twitter. Which one? Sit Down Radio Show?
Yeah,
You could
I'm
change it to the Sit Down with SDB.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Maybe
do
we
that.
should make
I'm
them
gonna
all
do
the
that
same.
right now.
Maybe we'll make them all consistent. Okay, so what I just said, just search the Sit Down with SDB for Instagram, and you'll find
doing
it
that
there.
right now.
Even that has a nice little roll of the tongue right there.
Sit Down with SDB. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That works.
You're welcome.
Okay, people. Well, here we are at the end of the show. Chad, did you have fun?
Man, I had a great time. Seriously. Thank you guys so much for having me, Regina. It was nice to finally be sitting in the same room as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott, it was nice to be sitting in the same room as you
Good to see you
again.
again. Yes.
And I got to use the mug.
You got to
You
use
finally
the
got
mug.
to use the mug.
I got to use the mug.
That's right. Yeah, it's great. I love doing the online.
Okay, guys, it's official.
Oh.
You change your Instagram.
To the sit down with SDB?
Yep.
Okay, I'll change the Twitter today as well then. We'll make the change. We'll transition it over.
It'll take at least a couple days, but we
Yep.
changed
It-
It feels like a piece of history that I got to witness in front of my
know.
eyes.
You did. I know.
Wow.
It is nice. It actually is nice to have it consistent. Mm-hmm. So
Change TikTok. I mean, Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, I will. All right, people. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you all next week. And I watch a new video coming to my channel tomorrow morning. I think I've got it coming for like 9 or 8 in the morning Eastern. So watch for it and watch it and like it and all that stuff. Make sure you guys follow Regine. Make sure you guys follow Chad. And guys, we'll see you all next time. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.